ICR F1 2014 Season 9 Championship race highlights from my perspective. Round 1 in Australia, starting in the rain. 5 lights, and away we go. And a poor start from me, allowing Corleone to get alongside. Meanwhile, Fishmeister, my teammate at the time, is challenging me down the inside. Coming to the first corner now, late braking. Corleone brakes later than me, 3 wide into turn 1, doesn't go, but we get away with it without any major issues. And Fishmeister files in behind me. Coming down towards the braking zone into turn 3. Not really touching the apex at all there. Bit disappointing. Corleone getting slightly away from me at this stage of the race, but it's early days. Skipping now on to lap 3, and we're still behind Corleone as he makes a slight mistake going into the next corner here. With a lot of oversteer, as you can see, which brings me into striking distance now, although no DRS due to the rain. And the gap will be down to roughly half a second. We'll see that once we go across the start-finish line. As you can see, just under 5/10 of a second behind Corleone, and we take these next 2 corners nicely here. We're just going to follow me through the rest of lap 4, coming up to the braking zone into turn 3, braking quite late, and as you can see the gap's getting slightly closer, clipping the apex nicely, a slight bit of oversteer and a little correction coming through the fast left right corners here into 6th gear, 130 miles an hour. Braking quite late at this corner as well to try and decrease the gap. As you can see, I've taken a 10th out of him. Corleone goes wide, which brings me quite a bit closer to him now as we come to this hard braking zone. 100 metre board, there it is, braking late, clipping the corner nicely and getting good traction out in the next corner. Coming towards the fast left right hander, very minimal braking, slight lift off, clipping the apex there, and this one using all the road available. We're right behind him now, just under 2/10 of a second there, 1.5 tenths, going down towards his inside, and we make the move stick. That's all the pretty much interesting stuff here. Coming down into the penultimate corner here with a slight bit of correction, and the last corner here, very careful on the throttle due to the rain. And that's the rest of the race. This is the first race of the season and the first of many wins for Mad Luke in Ferrari. Next race is in Malaysia. Round 2 in Malaysia for a nice dry start. Here we are starting in 4th, getting ready for the start here, using minimal power at the start, try and get a good launch off the line and see what we can do into the first corner. It's a long run to the first corner, anything can happen here. We get a very good start here in relation to a Big Air who's defending to the inside. I can see Jamie trying to sneak through the middle. I close the gap slightly so he can't get through. I brake really late and we're almost alongside Corleone. Corleone takes a wide line. He's got the inside for the next corner. I have to go around the outside of him. We're still side by side here, and now we can see that the battle's really on. We have a slight bit of connection there, but no damage, which is good. I can see the opening, it's wide open, I go for it. Here we go, clipping the apex nasty, but he just drives right round the outside. He has better traction than me, and he's just left me for chips. Here we go into the fast double right hand apex here, dropping down 2 gears, 3 gears into 3rd, up into 4th again. He goes wide here. I try and seize the opportunity, but he uses his superior traction once again to drive right round the outside. As I come in, dive the inside, really clip it, really cut the apex there, and he just clean drives right round the outside. Position yet again didn't change after the initial attack, and for the rest of the race it seems as though his traction and my setup just I couldn't keep hold of him, and he drove away. Corleone therefore takes 2nd place And the battle between me and Corleone is starting to heat up here. It is 1-1 now, coming into the third race of the season, which is in Bahrain. It's going to be a good one. Here we are, round 3 for Bahrain, and it's the first night race it is ever held in the Gulf, and we're starting third. Mad Luke disconnected in qualifying, so he's starting at the back. Here we go, let's try and get a decent start, and yet again we get a decent start in relation to the car in front of us. He immediately pulls over to the left and covers us off, and he also pulls over to the right to cover the inside. We brake really late going round the outside, taking the optimal line here, and now the battle is starting between me and Corleone. It's round 2, same as Malaysia, and he covers the inside. I have to go round the outside here, braking really late. He has the optimal line on the inside. He has slightly better traction than me. Side by side going into this corner, I brake even later than him. I sweep around the outside. I don't, and I'll do him. Easy as that. Cover the inside here, make sure he doesn't sneak back up the inside of me. Corleone had the same issue as me as I did in Malaysia, where he didn't have any traction, whereas in this race I did. So it's now 2-1 against me and Corleone. Our rivalry is starting to heat up here as we move into round 4 in China. As I said, round 4 in China, and we start second on the grid with Big Air behind us. Unfortunately, Corleone didn't make this race for, I can't really remember the reason, but we get a decent start to the field behind. As you can see, they're battling behind us between Red Light and Big Air. Red Light's got ahead, but he goes wide. So that allows Big Air to look up the inside, and there's a slight bit of contact between the two. You can see all that in the mirrors. Just up ahead, Mad Luke, I'm sticking with him through the first few corners, but he seems to be driving away quite comfortably. He's always in control, he's like a robot, and he never ever makes a mistake, or when he does, it's in spectacular fashion. Coming on to lap 7, and my engineer has just told me that rain is about to start very soon. Skipping along to lap 10, and it is indeed raining. Although the cars behind have pitted, Mad Luke ahead has also pitted, and I've gone wide. Perhaps it's quite late. It's too late for me to go into the pits, and I think I might have made a mistake as I'm losing traction everywhere. It is atrocious. About 500 meters behind me, conditions were completely fine. Grip is low and I struggled to put the power down. It's quite difficult out on track now. Or on the slick tyres, it's definitely time for intermediates. At the end of lap 10, and Captain Crunch, who was 17 seconds behind me prior to crossing the line, is now right behind me, although he's on slicks as well. So I'm really struggling. Coming out of the pits now, and this error has put me down several places. I need to push and get those paces back. Captain Crunch is just ahead. So I've closed the gap to him. I didn't lose too much time in respect to him, although we both pitted at the same time, and it looks like Crunch has made a mistake, but the rain is starting to get heavier. I think it's time to go to wets. I again leave the pits, stop a little bit late, and lose further positions in relation to everyone else. I get to the back of the battle between Big Air and Red Light, and there's a slight coming together, and they seem to be weaving all over the place. I take advantage and overtake the Williams. The sitting duck out on track, as this long start-finish straight requires you to have a decent exit of the previous corner in order to continue the momentum. Now it's time to push and catch the front runners. Red Light is struggling on in these wet conditions. Skipping on to lap 15, and we're coming onto the back straight here. I try and overtake him on the inside, but the inability for him to put the power down prevents me from doing this as he slides towards the apex. Picking up the slipstream now, no DRS due to wet conditions, very wet, I can hardly see where I'm going or where the braking point is. I pull out, the braking point's fast approaching, going down the inside. I brake a bit too, I get too hot into the corner and get quite late, and he does the switch back and is quite aggressive on the overtake to get third position back. Start finish straight, and he goes wide, and I'm going to go alongside him down the start finish line, picking up the toe, and around the outside he goes, side by side into the first corner. I managed to pull it off as he slots in behind. Captain Crunch down the line, as you can see there, struggling for traction at the moment, although coming on to lap 18 at the end, I make sure not to do the same mistake as I did on red light and make a simple overtake. Round 5, and we're in a delightfully sunny Catalonia. Corleone returns for this race as he couldn't make the last one. The battle between me and him is well and truly on, as you'll see in the next few minutes.
It keeps on. We got this plan that keeps evolving. It keeps on. Even when our hope is broken, we keep on. There's so much for us to prove. So keep on. There's so much for us to do, 'cause we can start a revolution. You and me. Let's say we'll start a revolution. Just you and me. 'Cause we can start a revolution.
Round 6 in Monaco. My wheel failed for this race, so I'm using the pad. So my race was particularly awful for my standards. Turn 1, and I caused a slight incident behind, causing a little bit of chaos by being overly aggressive at the start, as I knew position is everything around Monaco. Mistake. And I've lost my front wing already, and we've only done a few laps, corners even. Lap 4, and I make a mistake coming out of the tunnel, and I let Big Air through. Another mistake nearly ruins Crunch's race here, as we see in a few moments. Getting quite a lot of oversteer. My tyres are shot. Lap 15, haven't pitted yet, and I hit him, nearly ruining his race. And that's the end of the Monaco Grand Prix. I was out on my own. Pretty boring. Round 7 and Canada, and hopefully it'll be a bit more interesting than the last race. Corleone aims to get me back, and he'll sure hell give me a run for the money. Here we are at the start of the race, trying to look for a gap, but there doesn't seem to be anywhere. I can see that the inside is opening, but he has that well and truly covered. Ayrton Senna looking down my inside, having a good old sniff there, not finding any room. Lap 8 here, and he finally makes a mistake under my pressure, and I'm able to just sweep around the outside and take the opportunity with both hands. Pit stops come now, and I stay ahead, but his teammate is out ahead on track, and he is sure to hold me up. I need to get past quickly if I'm going to ensure to stay ahead of Corleone. They're going to do everything in their power to slow me down as their teammates. Fortunately, he didn't get a run out onto that last corner there. And I try and go for the inside here, but he's got it well and covered. He pulls over to the left slightly, and I dive down the inside here. Give him plenty of room, but he runs wide, and that allows Corleone to get right behind us here. Coming into the hairpin now, braking quite late, although Corleone's right behind me now as Big Hair's let him through. He's got DRS along the back straight and slipstream. Here he goes. It goes down the outside now. I'm holding the inside line. I push him towards the curbs. There's a slight bit of contact and I slow down, but I've let the wrong car through. I slow down again, as you can see by my speedometer, but Corleone doesn't go for the overtake, so I just carry on, although there's no need as he just sweeps around the outside. Clearly got better traction than me. Oh, and a massive oversteer moment as he slides on the curbs. Curbs can be vicious around Canada. Coming in hot into the last chicane, and Corleone almost clips the wall of champions. Here we go, diving down the inside. I hit the apex, but he's still round the outside. He's now got the inside line for the next corner, and I don't have any traction and slide. Go round the outside into the wall of champions. Oh, so close, nearly hitting that infamous wall there. He goes down the inside yet again on lap 19, and he makes the move stick. Oh, and he almost touches the wall of champions there again. Here we go, too wide. Oh, and he takes the curb massively. Those curbs are vicious, and he now falls victim to the curbs. Trying to pass the Sauber traffic to no avail, and we have a slight bit of contact. Coming towards the hairpin, he's got the inside line, I've got the outside, braking late round the outside. Trying not to clip the wall, giving him as much space as possible there. Although now he has the slipstream and potentially DRS. Although I overtook it, I was still behind him by the DRS detection zone. Although Corleone bigger steaming behind me. Corleone has gone for the undercut. I'm trying not to lose too much time here. DRS is sure to help. I can see Corleone's just come out of the pits and he's alongside me, and he's just hit me to the... how frustrating. And yeah, lap, and we get to see someone else fall victim to the wall of champions on the last corner of the last lap. Very unfortunate for Jamie. He was in a good position. Round 8 in Austria for the inaugural Austrian Grand Prix. Wet start and a new pole sitter, Jamie, to make amends to his disappointing end to the last race. Mad Luke out qualified for the first time It's a new circuit. It's all to play for. As we have 4 lights, 5 lights, and away we go. Everyone getting a similar start, get a better start than Big Air, and we're going to be alongside into the first corner as, Itros pulls to the inside, I brake later. Jamie ran the outside of Mad Luke. Big Air rejoining the circuit here, although he seems to have better traction out of the corner. He's trying to cover me off here, but I'm holding my inside line. Hold my ground and go down his inside into the second corner. A lot of long straights here, and the possibility for slipstream is massive here, as he tries to do the slipstream into the third corner. Although I cover the inside. Although in doing so, I go wide, which is not ideal. It allows him to get right behind me now. He's going to look down to the inside towards this corner, but I shut the door and don't let him through. Big Air challenges but backs out there. Cutting to lap 30 as the rest of the race. Everyone just spreads out, all maintaining their position. 2 back markers here, battling it out. Blue flag, blue flag. Richard lets me through. Sonic sweeping all over the place. What is going on? Put me off a little bit there, but I was able to make some fix. Here we go, last lap. And Big Air fastest lap of the race across the line. Round 9 in Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. For the vast majority of the grid, this is the home circuit. Round 10 now, and we're starting in P4. 5 lights, and away we go. We get to a decent start, covering the inside, 2 wide into the first corner. Will we make it? Yes we do. Securing third. Now it's trying to catch the front runners. They seem very fast. Fat Penguin and Mad Luke storming away, building a gap there. Red light still hot on my tail as we come onto the first of the long straight. Fast left-hander taken in third, cutting the corner nicely there. This corner is in third gear to aid traction coming out of the corner as we build the speed up to the fast right-hander, which is the original hangar straight first corner, original pit lane first corner. Although gone wide, the Lotus of Fat Penguin has gone wide and I've taken him. Early mistake from the Lotus, and I've taken him. If I'm honest, that was pretty much the whole of the race for me. It was pretty boring, as Fat Penguin didn't finish, I believe, or had a really bad race. Round 10 at Hockenheim, and the start is definitely interesting. Starting in 4th position, 5 lights, and away we go, immediately pulling over to the left to get the optimum position for the corner here, as Fat Penguin, oh my word, what the hell happened there? As we're going to watch it again in slow motion, it looks like red light's forcing him off the track, and he clips the gravel, it seems, on the outside of that corner, or on the entry to the corner, and he slides straight across my front wing, luckily not to spin us both out. Fat Penguin manages to fathom it all together and keep on track. Well, I dive down the inside, cutting the corner massively, but he gets through anyway, skipping later on into the lap, and Fat Penguin and Red Light are battling it out, where Fat Penguin's very aggressive against Red Light here, and Red Light manages to stay ahead. Fat Penguin right in his gearbox here, and I don't even know, he's just far too aggressive, and into the gravel he goes. Easily done though, that gravel is a nightmare if you ever get into it. Never lets you go, and here we are on lap 7. He's right behind me. I cover off the inside, but he's sticking his nose right in there. I brake even later than him when he comes into the hairpin, and I'm clean around the outside. giving him all the room in the world, keeping two wheels on track here. Very defensive now, coming into this quite fast right-hander and into this sharp left-hander. I'm defensive again, blocking him off, not letting him through, and that was pretty much the rest of my race. Red light disconnects later on in the race. Here we are a few laps later, and Fat Penguin's tyres are absolutely worn, and he just goes veering off the circuit. Rounds 11 and 12 here, and we are in sunny Hungary. Decent start, trying to cover a red light, pulling immediately to the left here, which allows my teammate to sniff down the inside, and he does it. He does down the inside, secures the corner, but I have the optimal line around the outside, has better traction out of the corner. So I'm able to challenge him into the next corner. He's round the outside, I'm on the inside, hitting the curb slightly, getting a huge amount of oversteer there on the curbs. And oh, I massively get that corner completely wrong, turning too early. I'm flustered, and I go wide at the next corner. It's all gone wrong. Let my teammate through. Red light has a good old look. Here he comes, and he blocks me off. I can't make the corner, but I fly through. And the positions don't change at all during the race. We all spread out. Skipping ahead onto the next race, which is at Monza. Qualifying on pole ahead of Mad Luke. First time I've done that. Coming towards the first corner, very cautious here. Lets Mad Luke through. He outbrakes me massively. Try to turn into the corner, but red light's there, so I give him the space. Skipping now to the parabolic at the end of the first lap, and red light gets it all wrong. Allows me alongside him, and we are going down the start-finish straight now. He pulls into my slipstream, and he pulls over to the left while I defend the inside. We are side by side, and hopefully I don't get this first corner wrong. He goes right round the outside of the first corner, outside of this one, but I have better traction out and drive him away from the corner. Another attempt here, try and pass me around the outside at the Scary chicane, but that's not going to happen, so he backs out. Towards the parabolica now, I hold the inside line, but DRS is active this lap, so I lift off and let him through, and now I have the DRS for the next lap, and I go for the overtake, and I make the move stick. Skipping a few laps later, and red light challenges me, but he has DRS, he completely outbrakes himself and misses the corner. I'm able to go through smoothly. Here we are, the end of the race, and I win, the first winner of the season for me. And after this race, it transpires that Mad Luke has indeed retired. Round 13, and we're at Singapore. I've only managed to record the safety car period and the subsequent laps. However, this is the first race without Mad Luke, and the win is on, leading Big Air away. And I have a massive gap going over the start-finish line. It's over a second here, or nearly exactly a second there, but I get the first corner all wrong. I know I don't have the pace for the Red Bull Red Light, who's on options. I'm on primes, as it was my last stop. And I leave the field to dust, but Red Light picks up the field quickly. I desperately try to stay ahead, going deep numerous times, but he gets to switch back into this corner, and he does me. Yeah, superior grip to me, as he's on the optimum tyre. Round 14 now, and we are at Suzuka. Usually it rains here. If I was a betting man, I would have bet this circuit to rain, but it didn't come. Determined to win, as I felt the last race was robbed due to the safety car. Red lights into turn 1, remains the leader. I'll just file in behind him through the S's. He didn't seem to have the cornering speed I did, so I attempt an outside manoeuvre through the next corner here, but it doesn't work and he blocks it off. Skipping now to 130R. Coming towards the last chicane corner. I go for an inside move and he holds it around the outside, but he runs off the circuit. I try and get back at him now because he's lost momentum, but he seems to have the same speed as me coming through the start finish line now. Put it into standard mix, trying to go for the inside, but he holds it round the outside here. Little bit of contact, but oh, I was about to spin out, but a good catch from me. Running into his rear tyre there. Causing an auto spin. Coming into turn one, looking towards the inside. I have to back out a bit. And we're side by side now. But he has the inside line, so I decide better of it and back out. It's still early days. I try have attempt number 2 around the outside here, as it almost worked last time. Almost Alonso-esque of at Spain, Catalonia a few years back, and it did the job. Here we are on the last lap on the prime tyres. Big Air, who is right behind me, is on the options, and I break late into this corner. He's side by side and he has me. Determined not to let this win fall through my fingers. Diving down the inside here, managing to fend him off. Here we go into the spoon corner, but I go wide. Touch the grass a bit and I've lost traction a bit, and red light cleanly goes through. There's only one opportunity now, is to sit in this slipstream and take him at the last chicane. We're very close to each other. I almost did it on red light, but red light went wide. It's my only chance. Go for it. There's not enough room. Oh. And he's able to drive away. Although, in hindsight, if I still would have beat him, I ran out of fuel at the end of that race, so who knows. Round 15, and we are in Russia for the inaugural Sochi Grand Prix. It's the second inaugural race of the season, but this time we're in Russia. Wet and miserable start. 5 lights, and away we go. K. Farrell qualified on pole. I'm in second. I've got the inside line, the optimum line coming into the first corner. This long straight is good for slipstream and DRS, but there's none of that at the start, and it's raining. Go for the inside move. He goes wide. I hold the line. I don't let him back on track, and I get the corner. Lap 6 now, coming into pits, and I hit the wall, so I've now got to replace my front wing. Hopefully that don't cost me too much time. Now to the pit, and don't think it cost me too much time. K-Farrell's still behind. Lap 15 now, and I'm not going to make the same mistake twice in a row. Pit switching on to the front tyre. Lap 18, and we come to the back of the grid, lapping a car of Portugal, or in the Red Bull. Lap 27, and I've extended this tyre life to the absolute maximum, and I'm starting to lose grip at the start of this lap. I can feel the rear end, as you can see. If you look at my steering wheel inputs, that I'm losing a bit of rear grip here. Through the corner I had a mid-moment oversteer, but I managed to keep a hold of it coming into the next corner now, and just the rear end, I'm just losing it. Bit of a fishtail on the exit of the corner there, not much traction whatsoever. The fast right-hander in third gear, really working the wheel through that corner. This corner as well, touch the curb, and it sends me nearly to the wall. Managed to keep it out of the wall. Touch the curb again, it almost puts me in the wall. Really struggling for traction here. I can see that Sonic Blur in the Force India was battling with Greg up ahead, so I let him go through. Anything can happen in the last few corners here. As you can see by the data that my tyres are completely shot. Really struggling, really fishtailing out of every corner here, managing to keep it on the track somehow. Locking the brakes now, really struggling. As you can see, the gap, I've lost quite a few seconds to Red Light, who was 15 seconds behind me. It's now down to 11. Hopefully I can hold it together for the last two corners. Really working the wheel again. Last corner now, surely. And we do, we cross the line, and it's my second win of the season. Round 16 in US of A at Austin, Texas. And we have qualified in third. Big Air to the left, Red Light all on pole. Trying to get the gap between Red Light and Big Air, but it closes. Trying to go around the outside, but I've been hit from behind by the Sauber. Really compromises my exit of the corner, and it allows my teammate through. Not a good start for me. I usually get really good starts. I usually make a place into the first corner, but it hasn't happened today. And the rhythm has really been spoiled already. I have no rhythm whatsoever yet. I haven't even got rhythm. Coming into these left-right corners, the constant change of direction, really warming up my tyres. I struggle with tyre temperature on this circuit. All cars are really close together as Captain Crunch tries to go around the outside but locks up, and he pulls over to the left, nearly hits my front wing, but the damage model isn't too great on this game, so no harm done there. Picking up the slipstream, pulling over to the left. My engine's getting a little bit warm now. Putting it back down into standard. As you can see, that Red Light and Big Air are battling out, and Big Air goes right round the outside. I go round the outside of Red Light, but he's really pushing against me. But he's just gone off. I go down, dive into the inside, quite aggressive here. But Captain Crunch has the optimum line, and he outdrives me out to the next corner. As you can see, he is appearing there. I get better line through here, and I seem to get alongside him before I even get to the corner. But again, he has the optimum line, and he has better traction out of the corner. Lap 2 now at the end of the long straight, and I managed to overtake him. Fairly simple slipstream overtake. He tries to challenge me on the outside, but I hold the inside line and block the apex off. As you can see, a few specks of rain are coming down. 80% rain at this circuit today, and it's starting to rain by lap 6, lap 5. Big Air is really struggling in these damp conditions and veers off to the left as he loses traction, presumably going over the curbs. Big Air challenging for the lead on the next lap, but to no avail. And on the lap afterwards, I slip on the green wall tyres of the intermediate, and K-Frail ahead is on the prime tyres, the slick tyres, struggling to keep it on the track. Lap 18, and I see a car ahead. Who is it? Looks like Richard, who's been struggling the entire race. Lapping a Red Bull there of Portable Agent. And crossing the finish line, and it's my third win of the season. Back-to-back wins. Hopefully I can keep this momentum going. Since Mad Luke left the season and retired, I've been pulling the gap between me and him down to a minimum, and we are now equal on points coming into round 18 at Brazil for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Here we go. Hopefully I can get at least 1 point this session, starting at the back of the grid along with Red Light, and off to a very cautious start here, letting Red Light pick people off and carving the way through the traffic. As you can see, that Portable makes contact with Greg, and I make contact with Sonic, but Sonic gives me the room as he notices that I'm there as I sneak up the inside of him. Red Light really cutting that corner. I guess he turned in really early there. I tried to capitalise on this, but he covered it well off there. Had to back out. Coming into this fast double apex here. Let's see, Red Light's going to go to the inside. Hopefully I can follow him through, but Captain Crunch holds it around the outside. I try and nab down the inside, but Red Light's overly aggressive there. Unnecessary stuff. I try to go around the outside. He's squeezing me to the outside here, not giving me any room whatsoever. And my teammate makes a mistake towards the end of the lap, allowing both cars to get through. On to the next lap. Captain Crunch gets ahead of me as I make a mistake, but he also makes a mistake and lets me through. Richard had really good qualifying, out of position there as we take him on. And Big Air qualifying on pole is really struggling with his tyre wear, and we managed to take him. A little battle here with K4L, holds it around the outside, a little lock up from him. Another lock up from him as he tries to hold it around the outside. Holds it around the outside for the first part, but he loses traction coming into the second. Captain Crunch now in third. We try and go around the outside of him. He has very similar speed coming through this corner. We're going to be side by side, but I have to DRS. Sonic now in fifth. We are all out of position because we've been doing pit stops. Same here for Red Light, taking him on down the inside. We have a nice little battle towards the end. He overtakes me. It's 2 laps to go. I'm in DRS range, but DRS is failing. What is this? Mercedes, not very reliable this season, but it doesn't matter. I'm in third, 15 points, and I'm now officially champion. Finally, after 4 tries, I managed to get it. Here we are at the final race of the season, Abu Dhabi, round 19, starting back again for funsies. And we're off to a cautious start yet again. Don't want to have collision with any of these drivers at the back here. As Portable outbreaks himself and leaves us to it. Sonic ahead, sees that Richard goes for the wide line, goes down the inside, but there's a lot of contact. Oh my word, almost taking us with them. Skipping to the end of the first long straight, and we're right behind K4L, who loses a lot of traction out of that corner. That corner is horrible for traction. Coming around the last corner there, and Captain Crunch, my teammate, makes a slight mistake going wide. Challenge for the third position, the last podium position. Around the outside we go. Pushing really hard now to catch Big Air, but clipping the curb and get swung towards the wall. Thankfully I didn't get spun out. Due to that, I've lost all my rhythm and lose a chunk of my front wing. As you can see here, going absolutely massively wide. I can't keep the speed through the corner. Pushing to try and make up the time lost by that error, but in doing so I lock up the brakes and make another error. Here we go, finally a few laps later down the line, and I managed to overtake Captain Crunch. Here we are on the back of Portable after I've made a pit stop and dispatch of him as he's still on his fine tyres. As is Sonic Blur, and we dispatch him with the aid of DRS. K4L next. And take him on the inside. He leaves me a lot of room there, which is helpful. Bit slow round here. I'm guessing he wants the DRS. I say, yep, I'll take that, and he doesn't get past me because of that. Round the outside with Big Air, and there's contact. I have to skip the chicane. Try and stay ahead here, but yet again I go wide and lose this chunk of my front wing. That corner is not serving me any good. Coming round the last corner, and we secured the championship last race. Second place from the back, not bad going. Thanks for watching. That was my race highlights. Some exciting races, some not so. Thanks for watching.